Hey ratepayers, it's Eric Lippman with yet another explanatory video about how utility ratepayers in Minnesota are being poorly served by our system. And if you've been watching a bunch of these videos, I'm certain that my former colleagues in the Minnesota Bar and former colleagues in the various state agencies that are involved in rate making, in the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission, the Department of Commerce, the Attorney General's office, a lot of them are going to be wondering, what the hell happened to you, Lippman? Why do you care about how much it costs to process a rate making proceeding? Why do you possibly care? Nobody's looking, nobody cares, apparently, but you. Well, I've thought a lot about that question, and I am mindful that modern pharmacology does have effective treatments for the kind of rages that I've been feeling about what our system does, but I'm not going to take any of that medication. And I've thought about what I might say to that bar colleague, that former government official colleague with whom I was friendly in my former life. Well, I'm reminded of the stories that I call the guys with three names. I'm going to take you back to 1846. Henry David Thoreau, the famous author of Walden Pond, is an ardent abolitionist, all right for that. He opposes slavery in the Union, and he doesn't think a whole lot about America's participation and intervention in the Mexican-American War. There's a poll tax in Massachusetts where he lives, and Thoreau decides, and he writes a famous essay, Civil Disobedience, nuts to that. I ain't paying the poll tax. I'm not going to support your slave-owning government, and I'm not going to support your intervention war in Mexico. I'm not paying the tax. Well, as he's walking into Concord, Mass one day, he's arrested and thrown in the hoosegow. There he is. He's behind bars. People who don't pay the poll tax go to jail. And before his aunt learns that her favorite nephew has been incarcerated, and before she can run down and pay the poll tax to spring him from jail, Henry David Thoreau actually is overnight in the Concord jail. Word goes out that Thoreau has been arrested in the small town, and as word spreads, his friend and fellow author, Ralph Waldo Emerson, rushes down to the jail and asks to see Thoreau. Now, again, it's an apocryphal story, but one that's been quite celebrated. Emerson apparently goes up to Thoreau and says, "Henry, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing in there?" And Thoreau thinks for a second and looks back at his friend whom he loved and admired. And he says, "Ralph, the question is not what I'm doing in here. The question is, what the hell are you doing out there?" I feel similarly. The question is not amongst members of the public utility section of the state bar or my former colleagues in government. Not what the hell has happened to me, but what has happened to you? Why are you out there? Why are you not pressing for change? Answer all of us that. And so the guys with three names, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and another three-person name that I'd like to introduce you to, Utility Reform Now. We're working for the kind of change, the kind of government systems we can be proud of. And frankly, until that day, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to be raising the alarm. I'm going to be doing what I think to be the right thing for positive change. I'm just like the guy with three names. If you want to be like the guy with three names and join our movement for positive moral change, I'm hoping that you'll like, follow, and subscribe at utilityreformnow.com, utilityreformnow.com.